the Commission having recruited or having undertaken several recruitment processes over the years. And we have a total of 100,000 now having been recruited for the last 3 years. So the concern is, despite the very many multiple recruitment process that this country has undertaken, we are still experiencing teacher shortage in the country, and specifically in junior school and senior school. So the question Honorable Jerusha is asking, why are there still shortages when we have multiple recruitments? Chair, shortages accrue for different reasons. One, we have new schools coming up every other time. There is a continuous establishment of new schools, which adds to the teacher shortage in this country. Is the enrollments that are swelling in every other time because of the learners that are coming, that also adds to the teacher shortage in the country. Then, Chair, we also have new learning areas. Junior school was not there before 2023. It's a new level that was introduced. So it came with no teacher at all. So when it was domiciled in primary school, Chair, you remember that we had to work so hard to get teachers to these schools. So that alone added the teacher shortage that we had earlier. And Chair, the new subjects that are there also. So this, together with the limited funding that is there to recruit all the teachers that we have, continue to have, we still have shortages in the country because of those reasons. So what new ideas will you bring to have all the schools?
Madam Antonina.
Yes, Chair.
There is an allegation that one of the reasons why we have staffing is imbalanced staffing by the Commission, owing to officers putting teachers in urban areas and also actually staffing urban centers and their peripheral and not the rural areas. The rural areas are seriously understaffed because the Teacher Service Commission are actually, let me use it, are compromised. The officers are compromised to staff towns, the peripheral areas, and areas that have proper communication at the expense of the rural areas. So what are you doing with that?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, we've been
hard to staff areas. There are allegations that there are many teachers in Nairobi, many teachers in, for example, Eldoret, Nakuru, Kisumu, Mombasa, these urban cities, and then the allure of urban allowances, the city's allowances, at the expense of a learner in hard-to-staff areas, Samburu. It is good you are coming from a very difficult area. What are you doing to make sure that very difficult counties, very difficult to staff counties, have teachers, so that you pick them from these cities and take them all the way to the necessary learners who have no teachers?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. What are we doing now that we have a teacher imbalance in this country? There are many teachers in urban areas.
The shortage is artificial. It is said so, because yes, there could be it is not as bad as it should be, as it is, but there is an influx of teachers. If you do a teacher standard, do a teacher ratio in Eldoret City, Nakuru City, Mombasa City, vis-a-vis the countryside, you'll realize we have no shortage, we have an imbalance.
Thank you, Chair. Maybe to start with the teacher-learner ratios. Chair, the Teacher Service Commission do not use teacher-learner ratios to determine the teacher requirement in a school. You can have a class of 26 learners. So if we get to use the teacher-learner ratio, it will mean that will only require one teacher to be in this class. That's why the Teacher Service Commission does not use the teacher-learner ratios, because of the situation in this country. Our teachers are trained to teach 2 subjects, especially the post-primary school teachers.
They use CBE.
So what we use is a curriculum-based establishment where we get the total number of lessons per school, plus the shortfalls of all the administrators divided by the minimum workload of every teacher of 27 lessons. So, Chair, if we compute teacher-learner ratios in this country, we may get a perception that we have enough teachers. But, Chair, I appreciate the concern that there are areas where we have more teachers and others have fewer teachers. That means our teaching force is not distributed as required because of what you have mentioned. There are other areas with incentives, like in urban areas, you have municipality allowance, the accessible areas, but areas where we have hardships have very few teachers. Chair, the first thing we are doing now to ensure that this does not happen, on top of what we normally do to rationalize teachers every other time, because we do rationalize within the counties because of what we agreed on in this house, that we don't need to delocalize teachers from one county to another. We do continuous that we don't need to delocalize teachers from one county to another. We do continuous rationalization of teachers within the county. But to avoid posting teachers where they are not required, we are developing a system, Chair, where posting cannot be allowed by the system where you have a school with enough teachers. So alone, the system itself will deter officers from posting teachers where their need is not required. So, Chair, that is what we are doing. And for USL areas, the incentives that are there will continue championing for the incentives to ensure that they are retained in USL areas. Thank you, Chair. Asante.
Yes, you are through?
Chair.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Members, I think...
just one, a short one.
Yes, very short.
Thank you, Chair. In the past, we have had teachers killed in some parts of the country because they are non-residents. What plans do you have, or will you as a commissioner have, to have teachers from those local areas posted there and the non-locals removed from those hostile areas? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. So, Chair, because the insecurity issue is there. The reason why the Teacher Service Commission had come up with the issue of giving priority to local teachers is because of such situations. So this also applies in the hard to staff, the insecurity areas, giving priority to the locals before we give non-local teachers priority to be recruited. However, because there are some parts which do not have enough local teachers, we still have our teachers seeking opportunities, even in the insecure parts of the country, to have the opportunity to get employed. This, Chair, we don't deter any teacher from seeking opportunities wherever they wish to seek, but we do give them, in case there is an insecurity issue, our officers on the ground to alert us, to give us reports on the security situations to enable us handle the matter administratively. But, Chair, for this, we give local teachers opportunities and priorities across the country.
Yes. I know it is a difficult balancing act. You know, we have insecurity, we have the learners to assist, and the country to move forward. And also, But I want to thank you because I remember in 2016 when we had a number of teachers killed in Mandera and the Northeastern, you took the bold step first as a committee, we put pressure on the government to provide security, but you also went on to transfer others who are on very serious risk, which was understandable. But at the same time, we have since that time, we have allowed the Northeastern region to continuously recruit the 4 counties of Garissa, Wajir, Mandera, and Lamu to continuously recruit teachers so that we actually stop that. I think that is a very good move. So with that, I want to thank you. I think we are through. I want to thank you, Madam Antonina. First and foremost, still congratulate you for your appointment as a nominee. And thank you also for a very good career that you've really done very well from rising through from the classroom, the senior position of a manager in the Teacher Service Commission. So the committee will retreat to write a report, and we shall table the report before the House, and we wish you well. Should you be approved, the members of the House as a plenary will debate, and should you be approved after our report, now we'll want to say, I want to wish you well as you now serve in your new position as a commissioner, if the House and members will actually approve you. Otherwise, because of your sterling performance and more importantly, most of the activities, I want to say a lot of things. Asanteni, members, make sure before you move, you'll have all your documents. You'll have your documents. And I'll also want to allow you to give us a closing remark. Yes.
Thank you, Honorable Chair and Honorable members. I really appreciate for giving me this opportunity to appear before you in this nomination. Chair, it is a position that, if approved, Chair, I only don't see it as my personal advancement. I see it as I see the promise of the Constitution of Kenya to allow anyone from any background, irrespective of where you are coming from, irrespective of any situation that you are coming from, to serve and contribute to serve this country. So, Chair, I really appreciate and thank you very much. Asante.
Thank you and congratulations, Madam. And I want to thank the members for sitting through this long process since morning, early morning, and now it's afternoon. Thank you for this. And I want also to say that you are equal to the task, noting that I sat through the Education Committee when we've done a lot of reforms in the teaching service. More importantly, for the ASAL areas, in the recruitment of teachers, you've stood your ground, and it has made sure that this government and your time when you are commissioner to have recruited more teachers than any other group of officers in the teaching service. To recruit 100,000 teachers is no mean task. Within a very short time, 4 years, and currently we are planning to recruit another 20,000, meaning that the kind of work the Teacher Service Commission has done in 4 years is more than what other commissioners have done since the inception of the commission. So you have a lot at your hand, and I wish you well. Thank you, and our meeting is over. Asante.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We'll invite you for lunch. Yes, after this, yes. Asante.
Agreed.
Proceed, yes.
Then Honorable Taitumu on retired teachers. What shall I do to hasten the pension? The pension conversation has been a big issue in Kenya. And we know in place now is a new contributory pension scheme, which indeed I'm happy I negotiated in ensuring that that pension scheme is in place collectively with the publics, with the rest of the public servants, but it is not covering the teachers who are the tail end, who suffer
by waiting for pension for the longest time, suffer by waiting for pension for the longest time. I'm happy to know that TSC actually processes their documents, and the challenges at the Director of Pension. And so, for me, my concern and what I will do is to continue advocating for the Director of Pension to promptly release the pension to teachers. And as per Musila bill, any worker exiting government payroll should automatically enter the payroll of pension for workers. I think as a country, we should be protecting our pensioners. And there are a lot of pension reforms within the pension sector, including all workers joining NSSF. And I think as a country, we've got a good ecosystem addressing pension, but then teachers must be promptly paid their pension. It's not a difficult thing. The Honorable MP for Narok, Honorable Sankei.
Chairman, on that.
Honorable Taitumu, yes.
Yeah, Chair, what I wanted to know from Honorable SOSSION is that there is a lot of bureaucracy. Before the tabulation is done and get concluded from the TSC to translate to the Treasury, files delay, others get lost. What are you going to do to streamline that sector to make sure that as soon as documents are received, tabulation is efficiently done so that the teachers, their files and other documents can be translated to Treasury for onward payment?
Yeah, order session. One, there, this vetting process is online. It is live. There is a viewer who has just given me a question. He retired 3 years ago. He's still waiting for his pension. Every time he asks the commission tells him we are in the process. He takes them to the pensions department in the National Treasury. It is still in process. The question Taitumu is asking, similarly to this Kenyan who is watching us, is saying, what are you doing to make sure that he gets pension instantly he retires? You are going into a new office. Just be patient. This is a very serious issue. And we want you to be a problem solver, Commissioner. What are you going to make sure that immediately he retires, the next month he gets his pension? Yes.
I have quoted the Pension Act, which is very clear about transiting workers when they exit the payroll to the pension. Mr. Chairman, I agree to the pension. Mr. Chairman, I agree that the administrative lapses, and this points out to the question of governance and efficiency. And if we are to discuss even extensive what other nations do in terms of preparing their workers for their pension, training, including even training teachers who are about to retire to prepare for their retirement, prompt payment of pension is a provision in our law. And Mr. Chairman, it is not good for a country to make very good laws and then we fail to enforce. I think, for me, it is not negotiable. Prompt preparation, collection of documents, and a very digitized administrative system within TSC. If a teacher is at 58, that teacher should begin preparing pensions and documents 1 year or 2 years prior, so that by the time you exit from payroll, the director of pension is ready. And I've said, Mr. Chairman, let us appreciate the fact that we are shifting. I've said, Mr. Chairman, let us appreciate the fact that we are shifting out of the old pension scheme, that has issues, and we are scheme, that has issues, and we are shifting to the contributory pension superannuation scheme, which can pay you promptly. And I've said the teachers at the tail end, maybe at the age of 50 to 60, are suffering from what Taitum is talking about. But then they should enjoy the provisions of the law. It is not negotiable. And TSC should process all those documents and release them to the Director of Pension, so that then we should only be talking about delays at the Office of the Director of Pension and the National Treasury, but not documents at TSC.
Yes, I know. That is what is said, and that is what the law says. Someone to retrieve the file.
Mr. Chairman, that is deliberate corruption.
So what I'm asking you, order, SOSSION.
Yeah.
You listen. You need to take time to listen. What are you going to do? You know, these are hard questions from the online. They are saying the file gets lost immediately. He does what? He retires. And then you retrieve it at a fee. Is it? And then for transmittal from the commission to the pensions department at a fee. Give us a plan. Give us a plan. If you'll be approved to make sure that this menace will be a thing of the past. Just in 1 minute only.
Mr. Chairman, in one statement,
yes.
I don't think I'm prepared to negotiate with corrupt individuals messing up with the files. I don't think so. And I've said one role of TSC within the strategic objectives and framework is good governance. One aspect of good governance is processing teachers' files and documents without creating unnecessary bureaucracy. So if we clean TSC of all manner of corruptions, including hiding files, and when we talk of files, everything has gone digital. And if it is digital, then there should be no problem. So, Mr. Chairman, I assure you I will commit my time and my efforts to ensure that these processes work right.
Said, proceed.
Yeah.
Chair. And there was something, the last thing in pension,
Yes.
So, Sean, what policy intervention do you incorporate with the commission to ensure that teachers who are dismissed from the service after serving like 20, 30 years, 10 years, and they go home without any benefit, what plan do you think should be done so that there is fairness for those people who have served the country, whatever the circumstances that they face, to be dismissed?
And I think that's a supplementary question on the same, on the pension. The Employment and Labor Relations Court ruled in 2018 that such teachers are still entitled to benefits for the period they work, particularly service gratuity. So for me, I'll ensure the employer complies with the law.
You might be cleaning it. Instead of cleaning it,
by
you actually
complying with the law and
you are trying to clean the water.
services that
But
these
this,
teachers
na unajua ikitoka hapa inaingia kwa tanki.
render to the country.
So, if you filter bana,
reforms to
hapo kuna filter zingine.
the recruitment of teachers
So these filters ziko na
in
shida.
areas. Kenya does not operate in isolation. We operate within global commitments, particularly those of UNESCO. And UNESCO recommendations in terms of teacher training and supply requires that all communities must have teachers created from school leavers within those communities. It is a global commitment. It is a practice. Education is goes on in a cultural, local linguistic context. And I think Kenya has a local linguistic context. And I think Kenya has done very well in the past, If you look at teacher recruitment, particularly for primary, it is done at the zones. And it speaks to gender, both male and female. And I think we should continue implementing the UNESCO framework, including even ethnic minorities. While I was working at EI, I was the president EI Africa, I was privileged to work on a policy for governments and member states to ensure that ethnic minorities also have their own teachers, including even head teachers. So I think that's a policy that has been done very well in Kenya. And the delivery of education equitably will demand that all communities must have teachers. It is a policy, and I think teachers have been trained very well in Kenya. I'll ensure that that policy goes on. It should not be thrown under the table. It should be protected and sustained for as long as we exist as a country.
Keep time.
And on opportunities and challenges that we have within the teaching service from Hon Emase, and in terms of training of teachers and the reforms to attract and retain quality teachers in Kenya, it is very clear that through UNESCO that countries and governments must struggle to make teaching profession the first. That is number one. Attract the best students to join teaching. And if you look at Korea, Mr. Chairman, for example, the top students join teaching, and 57% of parents would like their students to join teaching. Even as we aspire to go to Singapore, we must make the teaching profession noble in this country, attractive and the first profession.
We applaud you for that. We applaud you for that. Actually, that is it.
And so, Chair,
I think pick the weak people to nurture society. And that is something which this country at times fail. We get the best to nurture the country so that you finally pick the best from the best who have done the nurturing.
Yes.
That is a very good direction.
And I think practically when we looked at Korea...
So proceed because of time. Yes, yes. Said it well. Well said.
And particularly when you look at Korea, the education is strongly STEM, and their teachers are the topmost from their best. And I think we can do that as a country.
Are teachers.
Yeah, the A students are teachers. And so they must be properly recruited, well remunerated, and well supported.
Chair, you doubt that?
Chair, let's not speak to the gallery here.
Yes.
Chair.
You're out of order, Honorable Xairo.
Gallery here.
Yes.
Chair.
You're out of order, Honorable